Donald Trump is easily the most incompetent president we've ever had, and it's not even close. That's not an insult. It's a statement of fact, one he reinforces every single day. He did it again today while speaking in front of pharmaceutical executives. Trump struggled to speak, failed to grasp basic math, couldn't read properly, and was unable to form a coherent thought. Instead, he completely unraveled, melted down in real time, and was caught on a hot mic proving just how clueless he really is. We're going to break it all down. But before we do, please take a moment to like this video. And if you enjoy the work we do here, hit that subscribe button. It really helps support the channel. Now, before we dive into the many disastrous moments from Trump's press conference, let's start where he always does. Bragging about himself. Specifically, his so-called brilliant idea, the Trump Gold Card, which we're finally getting new numbers on. And frankly, I don't buy it for a second.
By announcing two things, this is the Gold Card, as you know. The Secretary of Commerce and myself and some others have been working on it for quite a while. And Howard, how much have we sold in a few days?
$1.3 billion worth in a matter of a couple of days.
That's essentially, it's the green card on steroids, and it's a pathway, and it's been an amazing thing. And as you know, millions of people pour into our country from the border, and not anymore. They don't know. Nobody comes in actually anymore, but.
Howard Lutnick is the same guy out there defending Trump by claiming prices are down 500% using completely backwards math, doing that Fox News trick where he twists the numbers to make a decline look massive. So no, I'm not exactly inclined to trust him when it comes to basic arithmetic. But there is one thing I take seriously from Howard Lutnick, and that's when he said Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump's close friend for over a decade, was the greatest blackmailer in modern history, someone who kept extensive photos and videotapes. Photos and videotapes that, conveniently, are not being released today thanks to Todd Blanche, Pam Bandy, and ultimately Donald Trump. But of course, that's not what Trump wanted to talk about at today's press conference. Instead, he focused on those same fake numbers Lutnick had already tried to defend, and now Trump has decided to crank the nonsense up even further. We're no longer talking about 500% decreases. Now he's claiming 800%.
1/4 of one. Think of that. I was proud of it because it hadn't happened in 28 where drug prices went down. Well, now you're going to see numbers that nobody would believe possible. Think of that. 500, 600, 700, 800%. Today we're building on.
I said it at the start of this video, and I'll say it again. He's the dumbest president we've ever had, and it's not even close. What does an 800% decrease even mean? That's not how math works. If Howard Lutnick, yes, Howard Lutnick, sorry, all these imbeciles are blending together, understands that even Fox News is mocking Trump for saying this, why wouldn't he step in and say, sir, you can't have an 800% decrease. If you did, people would be getting paid to take the drugs. Stop saying it. Either they're afraid of him, they know he's too stupid to understand, or they've already told him and it just isn't sinking in. None of those options are good. And speaking of fake numbers, Trump quickly moved on to fake jobs numbers too, something clearly on his mind before today's full cognitive meltdown.
100% of our new jobs are in the private sector. So this is for the last number of months. Think of that, 100%. Are you shocked to hear that? That's the way to make America great again, when you think, right? It's the only way. 100% of new jobs are in the private sector, and I could reduce unemployment to 2%, 1%, or practically zero by just hiring people into the federal government, even though those jobs are not necessary, which is what we had before. We had millions and millions of people having jobs that they never even showed up. So I wish that the media would report that The 4.5% is an amazing number. And again, if they don't report it, I guess maybe I'll just let some people go into the federal workforce. It'll look really wonderful. And what we're doing is the only way you can do it to make a country great. You can't have the government jobs. You have to have the private sector jobs. And these are among the biggest hires of private sector. So
Donald Trump is openly pleased that unemployment numbers aren't improving and that job growth remains negative. It doesn't bother him because he's bragging about firing government workers, many of them veterans, by the way. He even boasts, "I could fix it if I wanted to. I could create all the jobs." Then comes the usual rambling. We like the jobs. We don't like the jobs. Jobs and more jobs. That was the President of the United States explaining the economy. Truly reassuring. And of course, it didn't stop there. Trump, being Trump, then tried to read out the names of the CEOs he had gathered to watch his performance, and completely failed at that too.
Novartis CEO, Vas Narasimhan. Thank you very much, Vas. Great job. Genentech CEO, Ashley Megaragri. Where are you, Ashley? How are you? Hi. Thank you very much. Great companies. Behringer Inc. President Jean Michael Bors.
Nothing will ever top the infamous acetaminophen moment. Remember that disaster? Aceta. Boo. But honestly, this came very close. Anytime Donald Trump has to talk about medicine or healthcare, it's like his brain completely shuts down. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's whatever cocktail his team is using to keep him going, but it's clearly not working. During this event, he couldn't even explain his own healthcare plan, which is basically just a watered-down ripoff of Obamacare. It won't actually make healthcare cheaper or more accessible, but it does have Trump's name slapped on it. And even that seemed to confuse him, forcing his handlers to step in and remind him what he was supposed to be talking about.
Country, the lowest price paid anywhere in the world. And they will list their most popular drugs on TrumpRx.gov. TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name it that. Somebody named it that. And I guess they assumed that was, did you name it, Oz, or Bobby name it?
We all named it together.
Okay, well, I'm honored to have the name. And so far that's turned out because the numbers are so incredible. It's an honor. And you're going to get massive discounts on...
I honestly loved Trump's reaction. The fake surprise, just like yesterday when we learned about the likely illegal move to slap his name onto the Kennedy Center. He stood there saying, "Wow, what an honor. They put my name on it. I can't believe it. I've spent my whole life putting my name on things, and now they put my name on this." Incredible. He acted as if this was some spontaneous gesture he had no idea about, marveling at how wonderful it all was, thanking everyone like he wasn't involved at all. It reminds me of the so-called Trump Peace Institute. You may have seen this already. Marco Rubio helped rename the Institute of Peace after Donald J. Trump. Just imagine the scene inside the administration. Aides standing around brainstorming how to keep their childlike president happy. Did he already have McDonald's today? Should we name another building after him? Maybe get him a toy or a treat? That's apparently the job now. Constantly feeding his ego. This press conference actually started with Trump bragging about firing veterans from agencies like Social Security and the VA, programs that literally exist to help people survive. Remember the early Doge-style cuts when Social Security offices were gutted, phones went unanswered, checks were delayed, and people couldn't get their medication because of Postal Service cuts? Trump was proud of that. But hey, his name is on a building now, so he thinks it's all great. It's pure incompetence. That's the Trump brand. He struggled to speak throughout the event, but when he did, it only got worse. Just wait. He was even caught on a hot mic openly gushing about how thrilled he was to be surrounded by wealthy CEOs. Take a look.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow, what a group of people. They make a lot lot of money. It's a hell of a group. How are you?
Pleasure, Mr. President.
See you, yes. These are the greatest executives in the country, in the world.
Wow, these people are insanely wealthy, and Trump is completely obsessed with being around them. That's really all it's about for him. He wants rich people to tell him how amazing he is, how smart he is, how fantastic he is. But the irony is that he's supposed to be addressing how to make prescription drugs more affordable in the richest country in the world, where people are still dying because they can't afford their medicine and going bankrupt from medical bills for illnesses we've already learned to treat. Instead, Trump walks into a room filled with people who have already made more money than anyone could ever need, money amassed through extreme greed, and he just gushes, "Wow, they're rich." What great guys. It's like bringing the CEO of Exxon to an oil spill and praising him for having a lot of money while ignoring the disaster his greed caused. He completely misses the point. Why is he even sitting there with them? I really can't understand. The only thing left to hope for is some other medical incident, though I won't say more because little Kash Patel might literally show up to scold me. And yet, throughout all of this, Trump kept talking about his own health problems, which, bizarrely, was almost uplifting.
As an example of the price reductions we have secured through these new agreements, Santa Fe will cut the cost of its blood thinner, Plavix, from $750 to less than $16. Wow. Where's Santa Fe? Where are you? What? That's incredible, huh? Could have gone to $17, maybe. That's amazing. And you're going to do tremendous business. You're going to do much more business. So that's coming from $750. Think of that, $750. And that's the number one blood thinner. I don't want to know about that. I take an aspirin. To less than $16. Think of that. Bristol Myers Squibb, great company, both great companies, will cut the price of HIV medication, Rayurtaz, from nearly $1,500, $1,500 to $217. And it will cut the cost of hepatitis B medication, Baraclude, from $1,400 to $413. Gilead will cut the hepatitis C medication, Epclusa, from nearly $25,000 to less than $2,500. And all prices are like that because we're bringing them down to the world's lowest price, everything.
That's why I'm glad you're all tuned in. We'll keep covering Donald Trump's declining health right here on the show. To support our work, hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And if you made it to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.